Hi everyone, welcome back to my so-called video slash podcast, a different kind of setup to see whether or not I am still here, if I can still do this video thing. It's been a while since I have done this one-on-one talk with you. So the only advice that I would like to tell you, especially that holiday season is coming and New Year's resolution is right around the corner. We usually like to have resolutions when it comes to dieting, eating healthy, but it only lasts for about, let's say, 1 month generally, and we also get off wagon. But the only difference that I would like for you to think about is that you must at least invest in your self-growth and self-development, which I always like to talk on my channel. We can eat healthy, go to the gym, but if you're not mentally matured in the head, and it's always about between you and me, it's versus about getting your way out of trying to provoke people instead of taking accountability. It doesn't matter if you are losing 10 pounds or eating kale and you're eating carrots, but if you're not regulating your emotions maturely, if you're not matured in the head, and you're easily going to go away to trigger people and provoke people, what does it say about you? Just let that marinate for a second. When you are not minding your business, building your life, and you don't have a vision, and you're constantly going around provoking people, creating chaos and conflict, it really shows that you are still a toddler in your mindset, and you're just like the rest of the world. We, as a human being, we like to conform. This is exactly why we are warned, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. How do we renew our mind if you're constantly minding other people's business instead of minding your own business? Instead of asking yourself the question, is my life better right now compared to 5 years ago? Am I making the right decision? Am I easily triggered? My channel is all about prospering body and soul. And if you're not prospering in your body and you're not prospering in your soul and your spirit, you are still stuck in your same rut. And that's why people could look mature. As I always like to say on my channel, you could look like your 60s and 70s in your bodies. You're growing old in your physical body, that your mindset is still the same. As Maya Angelou used to say, people do not grow up. They grow old. They look like prune. They actually have wrinkles on their faces, but their mindset are stagnant. They still think the same. They have no maturity level. They will go out in their way to make you upset. And the sad part is, it's becoming glamorized. It's becoming glorified because people are now just, maybe they don't want to ruffle some feathers, or they don't want to speak up. They always come in groups, and they always come in this same mindset, same old, they flock together. So ask yourself the question, do you flock with pigeons, or do you want to raise yourself up like an eagle? An eagle soars by itself. When there's storm, it's going to soar up higher, but the pigeons, they just flock around the same old mindset. They have limited mindset. They complain with the same thing. They blame other people except their own selves. They will not take accountability. They constantly play the victim, and they always say it's between them and us. The competition is not other people. You could never compete with other people because it's absurd. Your life does not depend on other people's decision. You're failing at life because you have made a decision that you are not a willing participant. You are possibly just watching your life goes by. So do not blame your mom or your circumstances or your past, because I could do the same thing. If you have known my story, I wrote a book about this in 2019. It's actually linked in the description below, that my life wasn't easy. I am an immigrant here back in 1998. I got bullied in school. I was sexually abused. I got involved in another narcissistic abusive relationship. On top of that, I also had abortions, depression, and suicidal thoughts. So for you to constantly blame your circumstances or whatever you did, in the past, your mom, your dad, whatever you come from, the color of your skin, or whatever situation you come from, if you're constantly blaming your circumstances and other people, you are perpetually trying to make excuses and trying to be a victim. You're not a victim. If you're an adult and if you're a willed body, if you're capable of working and thinking, because God gave everybody a brain for you to think, for you to really use your hands for good use, so you have no excuse. As I said before, if you are living in this United States of America, you are one of the richest people in the world. Some people think they are poor because they have not been out of this country. They live in their own bubble. Their life thinks like this is it, and they're comparing their life from their next door neighbor. How can you possibly compare your life when you are not working within yourself, improving yourself? I think the greatest investment that you can make for 2026 is in yourself. Heal your mother wounds, your father wounds. I talk about this from my last video about we need to be the one to break generational curses. We cannot constantly continue this lineage of woe is me, I am poor, I need your self-pity party. Because self-pity is actually not going to help you in the long run. It's going to debilitate you of improving your life. People who loves to play the victim are not growing mentally. They're not growing spiritually and financially. They just want the bare minimum. They only want people to sympathize and empathize with them and justify their bad behavior. I have seen this dynamics play out, and it does not look right. It doesn't really make you want to be with these people. And the longer I observe people who constantly play the victim and they're always the victim, you don't want to be around with this kind of people. You don't want to interact with this kind of people, because why? They will drag you down. They will pull you down, and they want to just make you miserable. As the saying goes, misery loves company. So people that are not maturing in the head, they're not leveling up, they want to pull you down. It's a lot easier to hang out with people that are leveling up, who wants to see you improve, who wants to thrive in life, instead of being surrounded with Betty Downers, always complaining, always have something to say about other people, gossiping. That is actually a low vibration. It is a waste of your time. It is a waste of your breath. That's why Jesus would say, you know them by their fruit. Just watch their lifestyle. And if you're not happy with your life, maybe you should assess your environment, the place that you live in. I'm not saying that you should live in this glamorous, luxurious neighborhood for you to feel better about yourself, but maybe declutter, start cleaning something in your property, in your environment that you live in, that you breathe in, that you walked into. And then of course, make sure that the people that you surround with are the ones who's going to help you improve, elevate you, and not going to make your life hell of a misery. Because evil company corrupts good morals. As I already told you in my stories before, when I was in high school, I didn't want to study because all I wanted to do was just have fun and just have a good time. But because I surrounded myself with these children, the students that are studious, hardworking, very smart people, I had no choice but to join in and studied with them. So you have to be able to understand that not only the choices that you're making makes a difference for your future, the people that you surround yourself with, also your environment plays a big role in what your future is going to look like. You cannot perpetually say that I have no control. Although there are things that we cannot control in life, and that's given, but the rest of it, you do have a control. The places that you go, the people that you see, the things that you watch, the things that you put into your brain, the time that you invest in. So that's why you cannot possibly wait for someone to fix you and say, this is actually the government's fault, or it's my mom's fault, it's my dad's fault. I'm just gonna wait for someone to knock at my door and give me a blueprint of how to live my life. we do have a blueprint in life, and some people are not even aware of it. That's called the Bible, the manuscript. It is actually the principle of words that God had written to each one of us. It is a love letter for humankind, for you and I to study. I will not be here in this world today without the Bible. The only difference is that people are not willing to invest their time and meditate and really understand what the Word of God says. When God says that you're capable of anything, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, He says that it is actually true because God is the man who doesn't lie. So it's up to you to really choose the kind of path, whether it's for good or for bad. There are only two choices. Which path are you willing to choose to walk in? Is it for righteousness or wickedness? The truth or lie? Is it for the things that are good or is it for the bad? I mean, there's really no middle ground here. There's only two choices, whether you're going to make yourself better or bitter. Are you going to make your future so that people are going to be inspired by you, or just going to be this constantly, perpetually, woe is me, no one loves me, self-pity party? It's all this kind of self-loathing that is unattractive. It doesn't make you a powerful person. Either you want to be powerful or pitiful, according to Joyce Meyer. The choices, of course, are yours. You want to play the victim or you want to be the victor, because it doesn't matter of what happened to us. It's actually what you do with the kind of problems that you ever encountered. I could play the victim right now and probably my life would not be better, but I choose not to play the victim, because being a victim is hopeless. It seems like you don't have a choice, but God had given us the free will. He gave us the autonomy to choose to get up from our circumstances. That's why Jesus said, pick up your mat and start walking. If you have been having with the same conversation, having the same lack of accountability, with the same kind of mindset that it's never going to get better, it's because you have decided a long time ago that's exactly your motto. You still have a choice to change that. You have a choice to completely eradicate the lies that you have been telling about yourself. You do have a choice to start shifting from negative thoughts into positive, because you are an adult. You're supposed to say, my life is my own choice. I am the co-creator of God, the one that created me. So if God is still giving you life and breath and you're still waking up every morning, it means God is not done with you yet. But because you are not a willing participant of life and you just want to sit at the sideline, then God cannot help you. God help those people who are willing to help themselves. Let me say that again. God help those people who are willing to help themselves. But if you're constantly blaming other people and complacent and lazy and always point the finger, God cannot help you. He said to be bold and be brave. Fear not, be courageous. Have I not commanded you to be brave and courageous? Because I am the Lord thy God who will go before you, beside you, and behind you. In the Bible, we are taught 365 times, do not be afraid, do not fear, because we know that fear is usually the tactic of the enemy that tells you, quit, give up, it's too hard, you're gonna fail, like your mom, your dad, they're a failure, you're just gonna be just like them. But because we are not given by fear and timidity, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. So it's up to you to stand firm in your belief, or allow the devil to intimidate you with the same tactic, because the devil comes in fear and intimidation. But we are not given the spirit of fear and intimidation in this lifetime. We have to be bold as a lion, smart and harmless like a dove. We have to be able to understand and discerning that the devil wants you to stay back and just play the victim, woe is me, and never really move forward and never really shake the status quo. You must be able to understand that in this lifetime, you only have one life to live. And today is the only guarantee that you have. You cannot wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow is never promised. So you do have a choice that you are the only one that can make a difference in your life. You cannot wait around for people to make decisions for you. Stop playing the victim. Stop asking for people's validation and permission because they're never going to give it to you. Stop asking for people to feel sorry and pity for you because people are already lost and they only need some help to begin with. So you need to look within. As Jesus said, you have to look within you. The kingdom of God is within you. It's not out there. You are integrated with the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. And if you are able to understand that God intrinsically created you as valuable because you are the bare image of Him, so you know exactly that you are capable of anything. You are going to become the person that you want to become because you have decided, you put your heart and your mind and soul into it, and you are willingly saying, I will do and make a difference in this lifetime. I don't want to be one of those people who are just an equation of a victim, and some people always like to play this woe is me, and it's exhausting. I have seen it many times, and it's actually unattractive. As I always like to say, it doesn't come as a powerful person. So we need to all grow up and be man up enough and to be a woman enough to take accountability and to make right decisions and wise choices, because life is too short. And so I hope that you have learned from this so-called video slash podcast sit down, and tune in for the next one. And if you have not signed up, you know exactly what to do. I have blog. All the information is linked down below. If you want to enroll on my course through Udemy, it's also in the description below. I will see you on my next video. Be blessed, be bold, be courageous, and have faith. I'll see you.